we'll chant Om 3 times, followed by the invocation shlokas. Om. Om Sahana Bhavatu Sahano Bhunaktu Sah Viryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu Ma Vedvishavahai Om Shanti 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 समस्तजनकल्याणे निरतं करुणामयं नमामि चिन्मयं देवं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरं सद्गुरुं ब्रह्मविद्वरम्. Hey, everyone, good evening. Welcome back. So, we are at the last shloka of chapter 2. As Chanji was saying earlier, it took a while, but uh, we, we are coming to the end of the biggest, one of the largest chapters, right? So what are we doing is that we are covering the Sthita Prajna Lakshanas. In Sthita Prajna Lakshana, what last week when we looked at, right? So we saw pretty much most of the what were the common things that we saw when we have gone through the all the shlokas in Sthita Prajna Lakshana? Indriyas, Kama, Raga, Dvesha. These are the things that need to be controlled, right? And then here, uh, only when we control these indriyas, only those people are going to attain the uh, shanti. That's what we are studying. So actually in verse 70, it is said, Apuryamanam achalam pratishtham samudramapah pravishanti yadvat tadvat kamaha yam pravishanti sarvehe sa shanti mapnoti na kama kami. So what na kama kami means not for people who have desires. Okay? So people who have desires, they cannot shantim apnoti. So they cannot attain peace because once we have desire, the mind is agitated to gain the object of our desire. So where is the shanti? So shanti is absolute peace of mind. That is not there. However, the people who are mm, gotten over these raga dveshas, gotten over their desires, whose indriyas are in absolute control of them. What happened? Apuryamanam, achalam, pratishtham. Okay, achalam is uh, immovable. Okay, apuryamanam. So now the ocean. Now you can see rivers can like in summer season rivers can dry, ponds can go dry, lakes can go dry, but ocean never dries up. Okay, it is always full, it is up to brim. It never feels like okay the ocean is I mean except during tsunami, right? Ocean has dried up. That kind of a feeling is not never there. So that apurjamanam. And this achalam is like, it is unshakable. Okay. And now, now when the water enters into that kind of ocean, which is full, which is unshakable, now, now imagine a pot, a small pot or a cup, and if you pour a little bit more water, if it's already full, and if you pour more water, what happens? It overflows. Samudra, the ocean, is not going to overflow just because water has come in there. In the same way, what happens is that this Atma, right? I mean, now Bhagwan so we basically think about like it is the Samudra is Bhagwan, and this Jnani is entering into Bhagwan as he's merging into Bhagwan. When he merges into Bhagwan, but there is no change in Bhagwan. But what happens to the water? The water loses its identity. So there is no more it is called as Ganga water or Yamuna water. Rather, it is just sea water. So in the same way, there is the Jivatva, the individuality of this Jnani drops. And then he attains absolute peace. That's what we studied in 70th. Then Bhagwan cannot stress enough about the importance of getting rid of this desires. So again, it's, verse 71, it says, Vihaya kaman, yes sarvan pumam charati nispruha nirmamo nirahankara sa shanti adhigacchati. So whose desires have completely gone away, okay? Where there is no sense of I-ness, there is no sense of minus, okay? Such a person is achieving this final state. That's what it is said. Now, we will do the last verse. Okay, I'll break down the words first in the shloka, and then we can chant. Esha Brahmi Sthitihi Parthaha. Okay, so they're all single words. Nainam. So Nainam is actually two words. Na Enam is Nainam. Prapya, again single word. Vimuhyati. Now, okay. Twasyamantakale api. Okay, so that word, right? Twasya, okay. So that Twasyamantakale api has got multiple. No, sorry. Stitva, okay, so actually, sorry about that. Stitva Syamantakale api. Okay, so Stitva Syamantakale api. So, Stitva Asyam Antakale api. There are four words there. Stitva Asyam Antakale api becomes Stitva Asyam Antakale api. Brahma Nirvanam Richati. So, again, there are three words there. Brahma, Nirvanam, Ruchati. There are three words in there. Brahma, Nirvanam, Ruchati. Okay, so this is what the breakdown. So, so Atulji, do you want to repeat after me?
Sure.
Esha Brahmi Sthitih Partha
एषा ब्राह्म्यस्थितिः पार्थ
Nainam Prapya Vimuhyati
नैनां प्राप्य विमुह्यति
Stitva Syamantakaalepi
स्थित्वा स्यामन्तकालेऽपि
Brahmanirvanamruchati.
ब्रह्मनिर्वाणमुच्यते.
So, so Esha, okay. Esha means this. Okay. Esha, this. Now, what is this is referring to in this shloka is whatever I said so far. That's what Bhagwan is saying. Whatever that has been told to you so far. From where? From Arjuna's question. What was Arjuna's question? I want to understand the nature of Sthita Prajna. And when Arjuna asked that question, he asked that question in 54th verse. Sthita prajnasya ka bhasha samadhistasya keshava sthitadhi kim prabhacheta kimasita vrajeta kim. So this was the question of Arjuna in 54. Now when that question was asked, Bhagwan from 55 to 71, everything that has been said between 55 to 71, that is what Esha here means. This is Brahmi Sthiti. Okay? Brahmi means what? Brahmani bhavayam Brahmi. Okay? So that means what it is saying is that the state, sthiti means state. Okay? The state which is established in Brahman is Brahmi. Okay? So that means this mind. So when did this person's mind is established in Brahmi sthiti? Okay? Again, go back to the previous shloka. Vihaya kaman yaha sarvan pumamscharati nispruha nirmamo nirahankaraha sa shantim adhigacchati. So, Brahmi sthiti is defined where? In previous shloka. Okay? Where Vihaya kaman got rid of all desires. Sarvan. Okay? Because kama is sarvan vihaya. Pumam charati nispruha. He is going on without any uh, expectations from anything, nispruha, okay? And uh, uh, that is, there's no more longing, right? Nispruha. And then nirmamaha, okay? So there's no attachment to anything either. Nirahankaraha. That is, so why is that there? Why is like that? Because he became one with Brahman. When when you as a seeker become one with Brahman, what is happening? There is no more hankering for the world because you see Brahman in and everything, and you are Brahman inside out. So there's nothing to gain, nothing to lose. Okay. So then when there is nothing to gain, nothing to lose, where is the karma? No. Okay. If everybody is your people, where is my people? No. Okay. Where is Ahankara? Because you are Brahman, there is no Ahankara. Okay. So that is the Brahmi Sthiti. Okay. That is what Bhagwan is referring to now. Okay. Isha Brahmi Sthiti, where sarva karman, okay, so there is no desire for any karma, so sarva, karma sannyasa is done, okay, and everything is Brahma Rupa alone, okay, so this avastha Adam, okay, so whoever is in this avastha, okay, that is Brahmi Sthiti. Partha, of course, Partha is, okay, na enam, okay, so na enam means what, okay, na Esha Brahmisiti Partha na enam, okay, uh, actually, na enam prapya vimuhyati means attaining this, one is no longer deluded. So once that means that once this Brahmisiti is prapya happens, once this Brahmisiti is obtained, okay, now what happened? This titi Vimuhyati, na moham vimuhyati means you are not deluded anymore. Such a seeker is not deluded anymore. So that means there is no coming back. Okay. Hmm. It is like it is one and done. Okay. So when the baby is delivered from mother's womb, there is no going back. Okay. Once the delusion goes away with this kind of Brahmi sthiti, There is no going back. So this is final. Okay? Sthitva asyam. Okay. Now, sthitva asyam antakale api Brahma Nirvanam Richati. So I'll tell you the overall meaning in a second. Right? So in simple terms is, even if you realize this, even for a brief moment before death, you're all set.
Mm.
Okay? That's what it is. So that means what? Okay. We should aim for it until our last minute of our life. That is the takeaway. So
So the takeaway is that you continue to make effort till the last minute.
yes. Okay.
Don't give up.
If you achieved it before,
Yeah.
great. Okay. If you achieved in next week or next month, that is great. Perfect.
Yes.
Okay. However, because one of the things is that, okay, so like when I said that statement, right, there was a little bit of a laughter, right, of a kind of like disbelief. ये अपना काम की बात नहीं है. Okay, kind of a thing, right? So the reason why Bhagwan is saying this is that put as much effort as you can, and you will attain, and have faith that we will attain right in this lifetime. Whether See, whether Bhagwan, see, when you're going to be liberated, or when I'm going to be liberated is in Bhagwan's hand, or is it in my hand?
It's your effort and His grace. You have to combine the two, and that's the only way you can get it. So can't be by one-sided.
Perfect. So why do we say it is my effort and Bhagwan's grace? Okay. Either it should be my effort or it should be Bhagwan's grace. Why? We bring in both. Especially when we say in Advaita Vedanta, when we say Aham Brahmasmi, I myself am Brahman. So if that is the case, why are we saying it is both? I'm not saying, Janji is wrong. No.
Yeah, the reason, one of the reason I think is that uh, it is our efforts perfectly fine, but we need the guru in our life to really understand this aspect. Yes, there is a Shravan Manan Nididhyasana involved in that, but you need the Brahmanista and Shostri, a guru, who can impart this knowledge, and that's where the God grace come into picture. And of course, the whole thing about Manushitvam, which is a extremely rare thing to achieve, also is the grace of God. Is why we have this Mano Sharira. Is that? Yeah.
I feel because we are not yet realized souls, we differentiate ourselves from that oneness. Excuse me.
She says, go on. She can't talk much.
Yeah, okay, sure. Yeah. So all of these are right. Okay, so I'll tell you one more perspective, right? Now, we are made up of how many dehas do we have? How many shariras we have?
Three.
Three, right? Stula, Sukshma, Karana, Sharira. We have the visibility of our Stula Sharira, meaning we can see our physical body and we have control on our Stula Sharira to a certain extent. Sukshma Sharira also we have a decent understanding. Why? Because Sukshma Sharira contains Pancha Pranas, uh, no, Pancha Karmendriyas, Pancha Jnanendriyas, and Mana Buddhi Chitta Ahankara. So we kind of have a insight into all of these. Then the third part, Avidya, which is Karna Sharira, which is made up of Avidya, which is made up of our vasanas, which is made up of our papa punyas, we don't have visibility into them. Okay. I can guess that, I am a papi because I know that I made these mistakes and these sins. Okay. Some of them are a mistake because I didn't intend to, and some of them are sins because I intended to hurt or do wrong thing. Okay. And I also know that I have done certain punya karmas by doing this. So I also have some punya. But as a jiva, I came through so many lives, and I don't know how many of those papas and punyas are yet to be fructified. Okay. So I don't have visibility into them. I don't have visibility into my previous vasanas. Now, whatever sadhana I am doing, whatever sadhanas we are performing, they're all cleaning out those backlogs. But how much has been cleaned out? How much is still left over? I don't know. I don't have visibility into that. Okay. So there's an invisible factor and there's a visible factor. The visible factor is that the effort that I'm putting is my visible factor, and the amount of things that are cleansed out for into which I don't have visibility is the grace factor. That is what we are attributing it to Bhagwan as his grace. Okay.
Just a clarifying question. So I thought that the Karan Sharia means Agyanam. But you mentioned that it also consists of vasanas and the papa punya. I I thought those are the laws of karma that determines your prarabdha karma and other things. But does that have any relation to the Karan Sharia?
Yeah, they are not part of Sthula or Sukshma Sharira, they are part of Karna Sharira. Because of them, those Papa Punyas only we are being born again and again, right? So that's why they are part of Karna Sharira. Okay.
Makes sense.
The conditions in which we are born is based upon our vasanas. The conditions based on which we are born to experience certain things one way or other is based upon our Papa Punya. So those Papa Punyas and all of those are the cause for our birth, so they are part of Karna Sharira.
Got it. Very good. Thank you.
Okay. So now, the oh yeah. So what happens is that is why we never know. My point is that we never know when we are going to get moksha. So don't underestimate the power of our sadhana. That is the thing, most important. It is said, how long does it take? One of the examples that Gurudev gives is this, right? There is a guha. Guha meaning cave. That cave, let's say it's in Himalayas, deep underneath, okay, somewhere, okay, and it has never seen the sunlight, so it is dark. How long since it is dark? Since the time Himalayas were made. So when were Himalayas made? They were made some, I don't know, like millions of years ago, right? Because eventually they grow and fall down. So Himalayas, they are considered young mountains, right? Still, but young doesn't mean like 20 years old or 50 years old, like, however, like millions of years. If not Himalayas, some other mountains which are millions of years. Now, how long the darkness is there? Forever, for those millions of years. Now, this guha, this cave has got a stone that is covering the entrance to the guha. Okay. Now, on a bright sunny morning at around 11 a.m., not a single cloud, right, in the sky, sun is brightly shining. Someone removes that wall, that rock. How much time does it take to get rid of all the darkness in that guha?
Instantaneous.
Okay. It is not that, oh, you know what, look, this is like millions of years of darkness. So, okay, sunlight has come, but we've only like removed 1% of darkness. Okay, this 99% is there. Okay, sunlight has to be shown here for about, 3 months, 6 months, nothing like that. It is instantaneous. So the jnana is also instantaneous. So the ajnana that we have forever can be removed with the jnana immediately. Now, the uh, what is causing this jnana not to go into our thing and like blast up our ajnana, okay, is our vasanas that
Wow.
are wrapped around this ajnana as if clouds are covering up. Now, compared to the power of sun, clouds are nothing. Okay, where is the power of sun? Where are clouds? But just because those clouds are closer to earth, right? Much more closer to earth, they have the power to conceal such bright power. Okay, forget about clouds. Okay, for me, okay, even the brightest sunlight, if I go, okay, just these two, I mean, if you actually feel the top of our eye, this eyelid, it is so smooth and so tender, thin, and they are enough. The moment I close eyes, where is the sun? There's no sun. Okay. So the sun is covered simply with these two. Okay. So why? Because they are close to my eyes. Okay. So in the same way, this ajnana is covered with these vasanas which are closer to them, and this knowledge has to percolate through this thick layer of vasanas. And that is why sadhana is also required to lighten down, to weaken those vasanas. Okay. Sadhana helps with weakening these vasanas. Shravana will give that light immediately. Okay, so that is the role of sadhana. Okay. It is not the Shravana is,
Vasana is same as Raga Dvesha, right?
yeah, vasanas, yeah, vasanas are based on ragadveshas, yes. Okay. So for example, if you have a vasana to mm, wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning and walk, and another of you has a habit of taking a nice stroll after dinner. Okay? So that is also vasana. This is also vasana. Okay. So now for the person who works late into the night and he wants to take a stroll after dinner, right? All of that, for him, waking up early in the morning is kind of tough. Okay. So he dislikes that or she dislikes that. Okay. And vice versa. So again, that is based upon raga dvesha. I mean, either of them are good exercise. Okay. But there is still a raga and dvesha is involved in that vasana, any vasana. Yes. Okay. Now, yeah, actually in Bhagavatam, Srimad Bhagavatam, I think in the first canto of Bhagavatam itself, there is a story of a, a king named Khatwanga. Okay. It's a it's actually like less than half a page. Not even half a page, less than quarter page about him. So what happens is that he is a great king and he's very powerful and righteous king, and he's very powerful as in strength. So whenever mm, devas are fighting with asuras, he would actually go and help devas fight with asuras. And he contributes so much. Okay. So he is part of the reason why devas win. So after one such victory, they all came and they are relaxing and resting. That time, one of the devatas, either like Indra or someone, asks him, Khatwanga, you always helped us. Okay. We want to be thankful to you. So we want to give you something in return. What can we do for you? Then Katvanga, I mean, it is his luck, right? It is Bhagavad Krupa. He thinks about it and he says, tell me when am I going to die? And Indra looks at his Jataka and says, I have bad news for you. You are going to die in next one Ghadiya. Ghadiya is one of our Indian measure of time. It's about like 20 minutes or something. Okay. 20 minutes or something like that. Okay.
Oh,
Okay. Or even less. Say like I don't recall. Okay. So it's a short period.
very
Okay.
short period.
Few minutes.
Yeah.
As simple as that. So now Khatwanga doesn't like, oh my God, what did I do? I helped so much to all of you. Okay. And this is what, how God going to reward me? No, nothing. He said, oh, okay. Thank you. And then he sits in meditation, merges his mind into the Lord, and he becomes one with Lord. Okay.
One with the Lord.
Oh, one.
In 20 minutes.
Okay, within 20 minutes or whatever the amount is.
Time.
20 is like don't take 20 minutes, but that
Just a short time is the idea, right?
within
Yeah.
short time, and he becomes one with the Lord. Now, this is actually told to Parikshit. Okay. Because Parikshit Maharaj, who was son of Abhimanyu, when he knew that he is going to be bitten by Takshaka and he's going to die in 1 week, he drops off everything. He comes into the banks of Ganga River, okay, and it is called Prayopavesha, meaning he is ready to be uh, burnt kind of a thing, right? Okay, so he's sitting here like he is ready to die, and at that time, sage Shuka comes and he narrates the story of Bhagwan of the entire Mahabhagavata in 7 days. In 7 days, all his sins are gone and everything is, his mind is merged with Bhagwan. So when Takshaka, the snake, comes and bites him, it is just that his body fell off, but his mind was already merged with the Lord and he already became one with the Lord. Okay. So that's why actually Bhagavatam is taught in 7 days. You see, like Bhagavat Saptaha. You
Yes.
done Bhagavat Saptaha 7 days because sage Shuka taught Bhagavatam for uh, uh, Parikshit Maharaj in 7 days. So now this is what it is, right? So the purpose of telling all of this is exactly what Bhagwan is telling. Sthitva asya mantakalepi Brahma Nirvanam ruchati. Okay, ruchati means you will attain what? Brahma Nirvanam. Nirvanam means what? Okay, moksha. Okay, so even antakale api, even the last minute. Okay, if you are sthitva, okay, you are in established Asyam is in the state of Brahmi Sthiti, okay, even for a moment at the time of death, okay, you are going to gain moksha. Now, this is actually described a little bit more. This kind of a concept is little bit described more in chapter 8 also, okay, Akshara Brahma Yoga. Okay, so this is what Bhagwan is saying. So, any questions or thoughts on this?
No, I think in order to remember Lord at the time of the death, as they say, you have to practice it on a regular basis. You have to think of Bhagavanji continuously and non-stop. And as you become more and more tuned to that thinking, it will come to you at the time when you are dead. Otherwise, it won't come. It doesn't appear. I mean, it may, but it's unlikely. So the thinking is you have to condition your mind constantly of japing the name of Bhagavan, keeping him in mind constantly. And then hopefully at the end, you will remember him as you do at other times.
So actually, there is a uh, uh, shloka. I mean, there is a stotram called Mukundamala. Okay. Now, Mukundamala is mm, uh, written by one king. I forgot his name. Uh, uh, Alwar, some Alwar. Okay. So
Kulashekar Alvar.
Kulashekar Alwar. Thank you. Okay. So he prays. He wrote the book called Mukundamala. Okay. So I mean the stotram called Mukundamala. Uh, so what he says, Bhagwan, hmm, I'm praying, I'm
Saying,
praying you now. You know, when I am going to die, okay, I heard that the throat, etc., all of them stop before dying. Okay, because at the time of death, it is said that the pancha karmendriyas, jnanendriyas, they're all started packing up. Then they're actually leaving even before the death happens. So all of them are weak, etc. Given that, Bhagavan, I don't know whether I am going to remember you or I will be able to remember you then or not. Okay. Whether even if I remember, I don't know if I'm able to chant your name or not correctly. Okay. So, Bhagwan, now I'm healthy. Now I remember you. Now I'm chanting your name. Please remember that this is my intent to do that, to do even then. Okay.
Ah,
And I am, okay. So I am surrendering to you right now when my health is good. Okay. When everything is possible. So at that time, you help me out to chant your name. That is your responsibility.
mm.
Okay. So that, so that's what his, I mean, that is the emotion that he shows. And what our teacher, Swami Advayananda ji, used to say is, whenever your mind is sattvic, quiet and calm, wherever you are, whenever, okay, wherever you are, at whatever time, whenever your mind is calm, take advantage.
Mm.
Take advantage and say, this is the best time for me to either chant or study or meditate. Let me do one of those three things.
What was the third thing?
Meditate.
Oh, meditate.
Okay. So, because in every day, in everybody's like in everybody's life, every day there is a time when the mind is more sattvic in nature, mind is more rajasic in nature, mind is more tamasic in nature. Because Maya has all of these three gunas.
Mm. Mm.
You take advantage now that you know that Maya has three gunas and you have these three gunas, and you understand that different gunas are at rise at different points of time in the day for you. Whenever it is sattvic guna is there, sattva guna is there, and you happen to be free at the time when your sattva guna is high, just take advantage of it. Okay, and that will help. It says.
Oh,
And
that's why it is said that you start early in the morning. That's the best time because your mind is much more calmer and your thought process has not accelerated. As the day goes by, you're exposed to so much stimulation. By the end of the day, your brain is, thought process is still accelerated. It's not going to be, I mean, easy for us to
yeah,
contemplate at the level we would do as compared to the morning time.
yeah. So that
Although it also so happens though that sometimes, depending on how your day went,
Mhm.
the early morning could be tamasic or even rajasic.
Yeah, it all see it depends on individual. It varies from individual to individual. What time you feel like this is, I have that, like my mind is that thick right now. Just bring your attention to Bhagwan. That's all. Okay. In fact, like if any one of us were sick and
Yes.
couldn't go to class or something like that, right? I mean, back in the day, like at the time, COVID was kind of rampant, and if someone has COVID, we could go to class for 3, 4 days or so, right? So when he calls, he wouldn't congratulate us. He would actually express empathy for a brief moment. Oh, I'm sorry, but you know what? You had nothing to do right now other than eating and sleeping. So utilize this time wisely.
I mean, chanting or just Om Namah Shivaya chanting is good enough, right? It doesn't have to be
Yes,
very complicated,
any japa.
complicated shlokas, right?
No, no, no. Any japa that you are comfortable with. That makes your mind makes one with Bhagwan. That's all. Okay. You don't have
Even
to
reciting Om, they say, if you keep repeating just Om.
whichever.
Om.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
of course, Om Namah Shivaya is a common one. Jai Shri Krishna. I mean, I don't know, we can use any of the idols.
Shri Krishna Shanam Maya.
Yeah. So you see the thing is that
Suits whatever suits each person.
whatever you are comfortable with, right?
Right.
So now with this we have completed chapter 2. So let's take about 10 minutes to summarize everything that we have studied from chapter 1 and 2, right?
Yes.
Chapter 1 is called Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Vishada means sadness, right? Grief, sadness, etc. Now, when there is a sadness, how can it be yoga? Okay. If someone is sad, how can it be yoga? So, in chapter 1, if you observe who is sad, who was sad in chapter 1 of Gita?
Arjuna.
Arjuna. Okay. Other than Arjuna, who else was sad?
Dhritarashtra.
Dhritarashtra is sad. Okay, good. One more person.
Bhishma Pitama.
No, Bhishma Pitamaha hasn't talked anything.
Yeah.
He just blew the conch.
Uh,
Who else spoke in chapter 1?
Sanjay.
Sanjaya? No,
Sanjay was just
he
narrating
was
what happened.
narrating the story. Yeah.
Okay, so who else was the speakers in chapter 1? Do you remember?
Shri Krishna.
Krishna did not speak at all in chapter 1. Even though he didn't say Uvacha specifically, like, Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Arjuna Uvacha, like that, it is not there.
Yes.
Dhritarashtra Uvacha is also there, but there is one another person who spoke. Okay.
Vachaspati. No?
Who is Vachaspati?
He's just throwing the name.
No, not
So,
right.
so the other person who speaks is Duryodhana.
Duryodhana.
Duryodhana speaks. Actually, the verses 3 to 11 are spoken by Duryodhana. Okay, verses 3 to 11 of chapter 1 are spoken by Duryodhana. So, and then where he goes to Bhishma and he's saying, okay, this is how the thing is there. Okay, so this, what did he say? He goes to Drona and he says, let me show you, see all your students, they are all ready to fight. And do you know who is leading them? Drupada Putra. Drupada was your enemy, remember? And we tied him up and brought him to
Yes.
you, and you left him, you forgave him, and he got a son, and his son is the commander for the opposing party, meaning you messed up. Okay, there, look at Bhima, Arjuna, Veera, etc. they are all fighting against us. And who taught them? You are the one who taught. Okay. And so, like that, he starts complaining, right? So that means he is also sad. So there are three sad people in chapter 1. Dhritarashtra, Duryodhana, and Arjuna. Now, Dhritarashtra, he asked the question, right? Hey, Sanjaya, who were the ones who are fighting? I mean, what happened on Kurukshetra war? That was his question, essentially. Now, when did he ask this question? He asked this question.
Sanjaya starts relating.
He's telling Sanjaya, but when was the question asked by Dhritarashtra to Sanjaya? Was actually on 10th day.
Oh,
Okay.
really?
Yeah, it was asked on 10th day morning of the war after Bhishma has passed away. Until then, he did not ask this question. Then Sanjaya started narrating what happened. Okay. So when Dhritarashtra asked this question, Dhritarashtra is also sad. Duryodhana is also sad. Arjuna is also sad. So this sadness, these three characters have got different kind of sadnesses attached to them. Dhritarashtra's sadness is based out of tamas. Okay. Whereas Duryodhana's sadness is based out of rajas. He wants to grab, 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 and he's sad that people are fighting on the other side as opposed to his side. Okay. There are even people to fight on the other side. He was angry about that. Okay. His sadness is based off of rajas. Okay. And Arjuna's sadness is based upon what? If I fight this war, my own people are going to die. So even in the other side, even among his enemies, he came as a soldier, but he saw who are on the other side as his own family. Okay, so that sadness is based upon Sattvika Guna. Okay, so when the sadness is based upon Sattva Guna, that is when it becomes a helper, it becomes an instrument to become one with God. So that is why it is the chapter is Arjuna Vishada Yoga. Okay.
Is it because Arjuna's sadness was Satvika that he remembers the Lord at that time? Is it because of that? Usually, when one is sad, one is in trouble, you remember the Lord. That is the usual norm of a human being. So, is it because of that that he remembered the Lord?
He is with the Lord already, and he seek the help from Lord because of his Sattva Guna. Okay. So, for
Yeah,
example,
but he didn't know Krishna was the Lord, right? Was
sorry.
the Lord himself. He didn't know. He sees him only as his charioteer.
No,
Friend.
he knows that he is Lord. Doesn't he know that Draupadi was rescued by Lord Krishna, even when he is not in the Sabha, when she was being disrobed? He knows. He always knew that Arjuna as Lord. He did not know the extent, okay, but he knows that Arjuna as Bhagwan. He knew Bhishma knew. Uh, in fact, Bhishma in Bhagavatam, he says after the war is done, the Dhritarashtra was made king, and then Lord Krishna takes the entire Pandavas to Bhishma. Bhishma was still alive at that time, and that's when Bhishma gives Vishnu Sahasranama. So at that time, Bhishma does a prayer to Lord Krishna. What he says is, Lord, when you're fighting, okay, I mean, like he was not fighting, right? You said you won't fight, okay, and I made a promise that I will make you lift the weapon. Now, despite you being God, because you are so loving person, you love your devotees so much, you lose your word. Okay, you decided to lose your word and you picked up that will to come after me. Okay, that is your greatness, that is your kindness to your devotees, that you don't have a sense of abhimana.
Ah,
Okay,
true.
I said my word. How can I go over my word? No, there's no such thing. Okay, my devotee said a word. His word should come true.
Mm.
Okay, so that's how Bhishma prayed. Okay, so he knew. So Bhishma, Arjuna, majority of the people know that he was God. Okay, so now coming back, right? This only when the sattva is there, sattva guna is there, along with your vishada, it helps to seek the higher realms. And how did that help in Bhagavad Gita in chapter 2? Okay, no, remember, Arjuna never ran away from the war. Okay, he said, I don't want to fight. Tell me why I should fight. And he sat there. Okay, until Krishna spoke. Okay, so he wasn't scared. And then in shloka number 7 of chapter 2, he says, Karpanya dosho pahatasvabhavaha pruchvami tvam dharma sammudha chetaha yachrayasya nishitam brohitan me shishyasteham shadhimam tvam prapannam. So I am I'm overcome with pity. Okay, and I am unable to in my delusion, I don't know what is dharma and what is adharma anymore. Okay, I am becoming your disciple. Okay, what is right? What is the best? You teach me, and I will follow. Only when that kind of a surrenderness is there. Okay, so why that kind of surrenderness has come? Because of his tattva guna. Okay, see, just before war, Lord Krishna went to uh, as a mediator to Dhritarashtra and Duryodhana. When he went, Dhritarashtra was indifferent. Why? There is a tamas. Okay. What is want? Like, Mamakara was overtaking. My son should become king for everything. I don't care about Pandavas. That kind of a thing was there. So even though he know it is Lord, there was indifference to Lord. He did not simply care. Now, what did Duryodhana do? At least Duryodhana was slightly better in a way compared to Dhritarashtra. He actually tried to tie Bhagwan Krishna.
Mm.
And at that time, Krishna grew and he became a Virata Rupa. Okay, so that way he could not be tied. Okay. Now, when that happened, if Duryodhana had some buddhi, he will fell at his feet and say, Hey Bhagwan, take care of it. Instead, what he thought was that he saw Bhagwan as just a
Mayavi.
magician.
Yes.
Okay, a magician, and he is useless. So that means what happens is that even if Bhagwan is there right in front of us, okay, unless our mind is pure, we cannot see the divinity around. Okay, and when with that kind of when you see that Bhagwan, okay, that is when right in there, Bhagwan became his guru, and this second chapter is called Sankhya Yoga. Sankhya is what does Sankhya mean? Sankhya meaning typically people think, oh, it is Sankhya, it is some number, or it is based on Sankhya Yoga of Kapila Maharshi. No, 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 no. That is not that Sankhya, right? Rather, Sankhya also means one that is praiseworthy is Sankhya. So what is the praiseworthy is absolute knowledge is praiseworthy. So Bhagwan, so in chapter 2, there are 3 portions. Okay. The very first portion is the actual absolute knowledge that helps us to gain moksha. So when Bhagwan started saying right from verse 12, right? Ashochan anushochastvam prajnavadanscha bhashase. From that shloka to okay, 30th shloka, this is the pure, the absolute nature of Brahman or ourselves is given. Now, once that is given, the absolute state, Now the question is that it is something like this. You want to, okay, in a simple manner, okay? Okay. You want to watch this new movie that is released, this Indian movie. Unfortunately, uh, even though you want to watch this movie, it is not a popular actor. Okay, so this movie is playing in a particular theater. Okay, once you hear that, what do you want to know? How do I get there?
Yeah.
My starting point. So you go to Google Maps and say, okay, where is the theater? And it starts saying from your current location how to get there, right? So that how do I get there? Okay, what is my starting point? Now, what is Arjuna's starting point? Is the starting point for many of us. Okay, because Bhagwan is talking to all of us. He is Jagat Guru. Bhagwan is called as Krishna Vandya Jagat Guru, right? He is called Jagat Guru because he did not teach you. He did not come to you and teach you. He did not come to me and teach, but through Bhagavad Gita, through Arjuna, he taught everyone. Okay, so because this book is valid, this Bhagavad Gita is valid for everyone, he's considered Jagat Guru. So this is our starting point also. What is the starting point? Karma Yoga. So the Karma Yoga is also given, right? What is Karma Yoga? How to do that, and all of that is also given in uh, up to Shloka 53 or so, right? Actually, 50 or 51. Okay. Now, when that is heard by Arjuna, and then he also said that, okay, so one who reaches, he will be a jnani. So now question is that what is the result of getting this jnana? Okay, that is Sthita Prajna Lakshana. Okay. So that again is given in third part of the text. So what is the destination? How do we get there? And what is the result of that, of getting there? So all of these three things are given in chapter 2. So that is why in a way it is considered as the entire essence of Gita is right in chapter 2 as well. Okay. Now chapter 3, again, so okay, I understand all of this, but let us focus on, get back to my starting point. Because yes, I understood the destination. I understand how the person who reached there will be there. But let's start with my starting point. So that what is my starting point and how do we start is going to be chapter 3, Karma Yoga in detail. Okay. So we will start that in our next session. Okay. Any questions or thoughts before we close?
I mean, if I think you say you summarized chapter 1 and 2, that's great. We appreciate that. As long as yeah, okay.
Sorry?
No, that's great. That's good.
We'll close. Oh. अतः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्तिः 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 हरिः ओम् श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः हरिः ओम्
Did you